everyone. I'm Rochelle Chernowski, and this is Shell Point Today for Monday, October 6th. On today's show, the Pavilion Auxiliary's Bakeless Bake Sale is in full swing. Sherry Brown tells us what your donations will do. Plus, a question many of you may have asked over the years, so what's so special about the Bible? The Village Church's senior pastor, Dr. Andy Hawkins, will explain. And please fasten your seatbelts. We're headed off into the wild blue yonder as we get ready for Shell Point's signature event, Fantasy of Flight. But first, grab your partner, because here we go for some square dancing. Health Connections Beginner Square Dancing class gets underway today. The class will take place every Monday starting today through November 24th. It's $40 for all 8 sessions, which will take place from 6 p.m. until 7:30 p.m. in the Health Club on the island. Sign-ups are required. Tomorrow, head to the Grand Cypress Room for the Academy class, Kuala Lumpur, from tin and rubber to Asian commercial giant. The class gets underway tomorrow morning at 10 in the Grand Cypress Room at the Woodlands. It's $10 and sign-ups are required. For more information or to sign up for any of the activities we've talked about, stop by the Island Service Desk in the Resident Activity Center on the island or call 454-2282. Or you can go to the Woodland Service Desk or call them at 454-2054. Another intriguing Academy class you'll want to check out takes place today in the Grand Cypress Room. The Village Church's senior pastor, Dr. Andy Hawkins, will present What's So Special About the Bible. The class is just $10 and takes place today at 10 a.m. in the Grand Cypress Room at the Woodlands. Sign-ups are required. And here now to talk more about this class are Terry Kolath and senior pastor, Dr. Andy Hawkins.
Hello, I'm here with Pastor Andy Hawkins, our senior pastor of the Village Church, and we're talking about a presentation he's going to do in the Academy today, and it is called What's So Special About the Bible? Thank you for joining me, Pastor Andy.
It's my pleasure.
Well, I love doing interviews with you because I think it's wonderful that everyone watching can see in a little bit different light, than in the front of the church on Sunday morning or on Wednesday. Tell us, why did you choose What's So Special About the Bible?
Well, that's interesting. I know that there are a lot of people, certainly a critical mass of people in a place like Shell Point who wonder about things like that. And we obviously are involved in a church which is a Bible-believing church. And my role is to teach and preach the Bible. But somewhere along the line, you have to ask, well, why? And I think a lot of people, particularly in this day and age, have the sense that this is a sacred book like a lot of other religions have sacred books. And so we just have decided that this is our sacred book, and by golly, that's our story. We're going to stick to it, and we think the Bible is special, and so we're going with it. That really isn't the story. There's much more to it than that, and so I think that story needs to be told. Why do we invest so much of our energies in communicating the Bible?
How much of your time do you feel is necessary to spend on sharing this relevancy? Sharing this relevancy.
Well, it's one of those things that when I enter the church on a Sunday morning and preach, I'm presuming that people will recognize that I'm to be declaring the Bible as the Word of God, and so I don't spend a lot of time in that context among mostly people who are people who believe the Bible, having to go through that territory. But we're in a culture that it has people from lots of different backgrounds and viewpoints and perspectives, and so I think from time to time it's valuable to have a class like this in which we say, what is really special about the Bible. And what's special about the Bible in a nutshell is that it claims to be the Word of God.
Pretty special.
And that's pretty special. It claims to be God speaking to human beings. And the fact that it claims to be the Word of God doesn't necessarily mean it's the Word of God. And so we have to explore that and find out why is it that people of genuine biblical religious faith have recognized that the Bible is in fact God speaking.
Fabulous. What an opportunity for us. We're so fortunate. Thank you.
That's my pleasure.
I want to encourage everyone to take a chance on 10 o'clock in the Grand Cypress Room of the Woodlands. Take a chance, first of all, of fitting in. It's going to be pretty crowded, but we know we'll have room for everybody who's signed up. And take a chance on exploring what Pastor Andy has to say in your mind. He's even going to allow questions at the end.
Thank you, Terry and Pastor Andy. Well, it's time to take to the skies. This year's signature event, Fantasy of Flight, will explore all things aerial. From kite flyers to creating your own airplanes to the last frontier, Shell Point has you covered for what's sure to be a memorable week of fun and excitement. Resort Services and Wellness Manager Mary Franklin has been hard at work putting together this spectacular event, and I think she's flying in now to give you a sneak peek at what you'll see.
The Resident Life Team is proud to present the 2014 signature event, Fantasy of Flight. The community-wide event will be a great way to come together as a community, to be entertained, to learn, to compete, and to celebrate Shell Point. Join your friends and neighbors for the week of Fantasy of Flight. The week kicks off with an outdoor celebration on Monday, November 17th from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. around the Island Pond. Get up close and personal with a hot air balloon and be entertained with high-flying juggling, bubble blowers, and airbrush artists. You'll want to head out to the island beach where you will be amazed by the windsurfers, kiteboarders, and even a special surprise. The Wizard of Whistling will entertain everyone with his whistling virtuoso. There will be snacks and drink stations set out throughout the event. This is certainly going to be an uplifting event to kick off the week. Fly to new volunteering heights as you discover uplifting ways to contribute your time and talents outside of Shell Point. An aerial view of volunteering in Southwest Florida will be an uplifting event in the Resident Activity Center and outside in the administration courtyard. 25 booths will be set up on Tuesday, November 17th from 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. with representatives from various organizations such as Lee Memorial Health Systems, Lee County Schools, Alliance for the Arts, and the Humane Society of Fort Myers. Lee County Parks and Recreation will also be there. Make sure to discover an opportunity to elevate your volunteer goals with giveaways, light refreshments, and knowledgeable representatives. You will have an opportunity to give of your time and talents. Back from a conference from the Mosquito Control Association, T. Wayne Gale, Executive Director of Lee County Mosquito Control District, will discuss up-to-the-minute information about the two latest diseases we're currently worried about, the West Nile virus and the chikungunya fever. The Academy of Lifelong Learning course will take place on Tuesday, November 18th at 2 p.m. in the Grand Cypress Room. Sign up is required. Maybe you've heard on WGCU, I'm Jerry Jackson with the Wild Things. Dr. Jerry Jackson is a WGCU broadcaster, an FGCU professor, and a lecturer, and he will be discussing one of the birds common to our area. We are delighted in this presentation. You'll have an hour and a half to hear about our birds from this eminent authority. The Academy is hosting the Fantasy of Flight presentation, The Birds of Southwest Florida, on Wednesday morning in the Grand Cypress Room at 10 a.m. Don't forget to sign up at either service desk. Aviation in Southwest Florida has evolved into quite an industry over the last 60 years. Taking flight in Southwest Florida, behind the scenes tour, International Airport will foster your curiosity and answer some of the questions you may have about modern air transportation. The group will attend a classroom-style presentation focusing on the airport history and social and economic benefits and impact on our region. Subject to availability, the Airport Police Department K-9 Unit and Transportation Security Administration will join us in the classroom. Lunch will be at the Olive Garden afterwards. Court pickup starts at 8 a.m., so make sure you sign up for this event that takes place on Wednesday, November 19th. The Fantasy of Flight Day continues with an evening with light-hearted entertainment at the Village Church at 7:15. The staff will be sharing their personal, hilarious travel adventures to illustrate their experiences. You will enjoy seeing some of the most memorable escapades from TV shows with Carol Burnett, Tim Conway, Bob Newhart, and others. Come aboard Flight TVC 715. You'll be glad you did. The Fantasy of Flight Week would not be complete without some friendly competition. On Thursday morning in the church, individuals, courts, or groups of residents are challenged to design and create your own airplanes. You will actually be flying them off the second floor balcony. So start designing your planes now. You must sign up because at 9:45 Thursday, second floor of the church, remember, you're going to fly your airplane. Awards will be given to the most creative plane, the best plane name, and the plane that goes the furthest. Sign up at either service desk today and start building your plane. The week-long celebration wraps up with a virtual visit to the last frontier. Dr. Wei-Ping Yu, a senior scientist and physicist at NASA Kennedy Space Center in Florida since 2002, will be presenting Unlocking the Mysteries of the Universe on Friday, November 21st at 1:15 p.m. in the church auditorium. He is a member of the American Physical Society and also a member to the American Astronautics and American Society of Mechanical Engineers. He is a frequent speaker at the Kennedy Space Center and at various events sponsored by NASA. Shell Point is honored to host such an acclaimed speaker right here on property. For more information about Fantasy of Flight activities taking place at the Arbor, Kings Crown, and the Springs, please refer to each building's newsletters. I'm Mary Franklin, and I am taking off and looking forward to seeing you at the Fantasy of Flight. Clear prop!
Well, most, if not all of you, have been to the Larson Pavilion here at Shell Point. While there, you've seen many of your friends and neighbors walking around with blue jackets. Those folks are part of the hundreds of residents here at Shell Point that volunteer their time with the Pavilion Auxiliary. And right now, they're holding a bake sale. Except this one doesn't require any baking. It just requires your donations. Here with more are Terry Kolath and the Pavilion's Director of Long-Term Care, Sherry Brown.
Hello everyone, I am here today with Sherry Brown, who is our Director of Long-Term Care and Hope Hospice at Shell Point. We're standing in the beautiful lobby of the Pavilion, Sherry's building, and we're talking about the Pavilion Auxiliary and their fundraiser, the Bakeless Bake Sale. Sherry, thank you for joining me.
Oh, it's a pleasure, Terry, and welcome to our beautiful pavilion.
Isn't it great? I know you and I share a passion for these people who give so much to the residents and the staff of your building. Let's talk a little bit at this time we're asking our community to support them, about just what we do with that support.
Wonderful. Well, 200 plus volunteers who are residents is just phenomenal. And the support that they bring to our residents and to our staff is just priceless. They're in the building every day, providing services through multiples of committees. And with the Bakeless Bake Sale, they have even more opportunity to share with funding for equipment and education.
Absolutely. I mean, I've heard you many times talk about how you have this large, wonderful staff and just as large and wonderful a corps of volunteers.
Yes, ma'am.
It's a lot of people working with you in this building.
Oh my goodness, if I added them all together, it would probably count more than 500.
Probably would, wouldn't it? Well, let's talk a little bit, because we do have some interesting information here about just specifically what this money that is donated does for you and your residents. Let's just talk about some of the items that have been provided.
We talk about advanced training and education for the staff, and that involves not only sending people back to school and helping to pay for their tuition through this wonderful tuition reimbursement for our CNAs to become LPNs, LPNs to become RNs, maybe hospice nursing certification or dementia care. So it just increases the abilities, the knowledge, the credibility of the staff working with our wonderful residents. We've had donation from the auxiliary Bakeless Bake Sale funds for a 42-inch flat screen TV that can be used in a wonderful activity area for our residents to be able to view movies or other special events, church events.
And we talk about our 18 committees, and it's really important for us to realize that each of those committees goes out to residents in the building for a special reason. For instance, the library committee.
Absolutely. Purchasing of additional books and other publications for the library.
And then greeting cards and flowers for special occasions.
Oh, our residents, wouldn't you love to have a greeting card for your birthday, or a rose for your birthday from the garden? Or maybe there are opportunities to bring flowers into the building for special events.
Well, it just seems to me that the list is ongoing, the need is ongoing, because as many ways as we can think of to make life better for our friends and neighbors in the pavilion, we want to take advantage. And we always want to say to you and your staff, dream. What else can we do?
And we appreciate that, and we do love to dream. So please, I'm asking that there be good support for our auxiliary Bakeless Bake Sale, because it only does make things better in the pavilion for our residents. Thank you.
Now it's time to cover all of Monday's happenings, Academy news, menus, and Village Church connections. Right after this word from David Howenstein with a preview of his radio show on TV, Listening to the Words.
Do you believe it? It's 4 years this month that I started reading stories, poems, and articles on Shell Point TV's Listening to the Words program. At first, I thought of rereading the best stories of the 166 weekly programs, but that wouldn't work. So this week's show is all new. It features one story about two people who need each other, but whose love can never blossom. Then one of many modern examples of how catastrophe offers treasure. Then, lest we forget, an inspiring memory of country doctors who made house calls. You'll begin laughing at a snippet from the shooting of Mel Brooks' movie Young Frankenstein. Finally, several examples of the importance of laughing much and often. David Howenstein inviting you to spend 30 minutes listening to the words on Shell Point Channel 12. It's on at the top and bottom of each hour, each day this week. You might feel better for having done so. And I'll have another chance to thank you for listening.
Hi, I'm Jill Aldrink, and I'm here with Bev Chandley, and we're going to share with you what's happening today at Shell Point. Well, Monday mornings are always busy, and we start out this week with 8 o'clock men's match play doubles tennis. They'll be meeting at the tennis courts. At 8:45, head on up to the virtual bowling in the Resident Activity Center. At 9 o'clock, there's an opportunity for volunteers to volunteer for the food pantry at the village church. And also at 9 o'clock, there was a Find Mark shredding event at the village church. They'll be there from 9 until 10:30, so bring your papers down to be shredded. At 9:15, we have multiple opportunities. There's billiards in the Resident Activity Center and pottery downstairs in the pottery studio. At 10 o'clock, the men will get together for the men's match play doubles tennis at the tennis courts. At 10 o'clock, the Susie Q heads out to Woody's Waterfront Restaurant for lunch. The Parkinson's Enrichment Group will be meeting in the Social Center at 10:15, and the Men's Disciple Study Group will be meeting in the game room at the Woodlands at 10:30. 10:45 brings table tennis clinic in the Tarpon Room. And our final morning activity is a Health Connections Specifics in Cardio Conditioning. That's in the Health Club at 11:30, and that event is currently closed. Bev, tell us what's happening this afternoon.
Well, Jill, we're going to start at 12 o'clock with Mahjong. That's played in the Sable Room at the Woodlands. At 1:15, we have advanced table tennis in the Tarpon Room. Also at 1:15, we have Samba, the card game, in the Resident Activity Center. And 1:15 is also the time the Tone Chimes group will be playing in the Osprey Room. We're going to move to 1:30, and the Model Train Room will be open again. That's open from 1:30 to 3:30. Go see if there's been any changes since the last time you went to the train room. At 1:45, we have a Health Connections class, Balance and Mobility Training Level 1. That's in the Health Club, and sign up is required. 2 o'clock's the time for the LifeQuest special event, Take Care of Yourself. That'll be in the Grand Cypress Room down at the Woodlands. 2 o'clock, we have the Beady-Eyed Bead Club in the Oak Room. Then we move to 3 o'clock for Health Connections Pilates Stretch. That's in the Health Club. At 3:15, we have the Shell Point Singers Rehearsal. That'll be in the Choir Room at the Village Church. And we have a 3:30 Health Connections class, Aqua Agility and Conditioning. That's at the LifeQuest Aquatic Center. Our Susie Q boat's going out at 4 o'clock for sightseeing and dinner at the Lighthouse Restaurant. You do need to sign up at the Island Greeters Desk. And we're going to jump to 6 o'clock where we have Health Connections Beginners Square Dancing. That's in the Health Club. Sign up is required. 6:30, Duplicate Bridge will be in the game room of the Woodlands, and we'll round out the evening at 7:30 with square dancing instruction at the Health Club. Again, sign up is required. Well, we're sure happy to see you here today, and we will see you right back here tomorrow.
Hello, I'm Terry Kolath, and I would like to share the Academy information with you from Monday, October 6th. At 9:15, we begin creating and personalizing Gmail accounts in the Computer Teaching Center on the island. Sign up is required. At 10 o'clock, another new class. What's so special about the Bible? This will take place in the Grand Cypress Room of the Woodlands, and sign up is required. At 10:15, our Facebook Basics on the iPad class continues in the Manatee Room on the island, and our Appreciating Words class in the Oak Room of the Woodlands welcomes everyone interested in words. At 1:15, Making Word Work for You will continue in the Computer Teaching Center on the island. I'd like to share some new classes coming tomorrow. Kuala Lumpur with Professor Adrian Kerr. Apple iPad, Why Do I Need One? Will it replace my PC? With Penny Modridge of Nautilus and Bruce Findlay of Sundial. Penny and Bruce will also give us Apple iPad, apps.
Menus for Monday. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter is chicken and dumplings with seasoned greens. The dinner special is All Home Cooking Night for $11.95, and the soup of the day is Senate Bean. In the Island Cafe for lunch, the special is a tuna melt with coleslaw and chips for $7.25. The dinner special is baked chicken with walnut stuffing and green beans for $8.25, and the Palm Grill is closed on Mondays. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
It's a joy to welcome you today to Village Church Connections. I'm here with our senior pastor, Andy Hawkins. And Andy, we are still celebrating.
We are indeed.
We had a wonderful day yesterday, being back in our sanctuary space for worship after many months of being in other locations.
Yeah, and while we've enjoyed being in those other locations, it was 5 months, and we know where home is. And it was just so great to be back.
Right. I know many of our folks were anticipating it and were talking to me prior to our arrival and just explaining how wonderfully excited they were. And I think we all were.
Absolutely.
It was a great celebration. We had so much to celebrate.
Yeah, we did.
I know, Andy, it was wonderful to have the choir back.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Randy was almost overrun with the number of people back this early in the season.
We had a very full choir.
A full choir, absolutely. And of course, he had to get his hands on the organ. He's been without that, and you know how that is.
His
for
fingers
him.
were itching.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
And we also celebrated a major milestone. We have for months been talking about our goal of $1 million.
That's right. That's right.
And just this past week, as we prepared to come back into the space for their first Sunday back, we had a donor come forward and say, I want to make up that small gap that we still had. And so we were able to celebrate hitting our goal of $1 million.
In fact, I've been overwhelmed about the giving already. I mean, when you look at a goal like that for our congregation, they had 99% of it, subscribed. But what a great sensibility and heart of the people of God to say, you know what, we're going to meet it. And we're going to do it before we go back in. And that was a great encouragement to all of us, especially to me, and I know to you, because you look at a lot of the operations and funding side of things, and I'm looking at it from a pastoral perspective, and both of us, we were both encouraged by that.
So we're very excited. We still have some punch list items and a few things to finish up here or there. But our project management team, as I've said so many times before, has just been amazing to work with. We thanked them on Sunday, and I want to continue to thank them for their hard work and their diligence in helping us get back into that space.
Yeah. Bob Southern and Julie Nipper have been our best friends in this entire project, and we just are so thankful for them and for they're obviously working for Shell Point on our behalf, and that's been a great marriage, really, of people.
It has.
Yep.
It has.
Right.
Thank you, Andy.
Well, it's my pleasure. It's good to have you with us for Village Church Connections. And if you haven't been to our new renovated sanctuary, we hope that you'll come by soon, and we hope to see you as soon as possible. Blessings to each and every one of you.
We're glad you joined us for today's show. Tune in tomorrow when Dr. Trevor Elmquist will discuss his upcoming Health Connections program, Macular Degeneration. We'll find out about the benefit of day respite offered at the Arbor right here in Shell Point, and the fascinating stories behind the curio cabinets at the Arbor. Until then, this is Shell Point Today for Monday, October 6th. I'm Rochelle Chernowski, and for all of us here at Shell Point, we hope you have a great day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.